Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. It would be hard to imagine any music-loving audiophile today unfamiliar with the remarkable work of SVS Audio. Founded in a garage in Youngstown, Ohio in 1998 by audio enthusiasts Ron Stimpson and Tom Vodinell, the name SVS, Stimpson Vodinell Sound, was derived from the initials of their last names. With the intent of disrupting an industry that they felt was plagued by overpriced, underperforming models, their innovative consumer-direct internet-based sales model stripped away expensive dealer markups, passing immense value directly to audiophiles. After Tom chose to pursue other projects in late 2007, Specialty Technologies LLC acquired the brand's assets in May of 2011, bringing on former Monster Cable executive Gary Yacobian as president, CEO, and managing partner. Gary astutely preserved the company's sonic DNA by retaining key original personnel, including co-founder Ron Stimpson and COO Ed Mullen. The reorganized SVS would soon expand beyond subwoofers. 2012 saw their move into the broader scope of full-range loudspeakers and wireless audio, driving the growth of their design team with the goal of maintaining the degree of performance and value with these extended products that they had established with their subwoofers. When the email announcing the 3000 Revolution series lineup from Nicholas Brown, SVS's Vice President of Marketing, landed in my inbox in late January, my interest was piqued. And after reading about the innovations they had implemented, including significant advancements in driver design, amplification, power management, and DSP, I just had to have a closer listen. The PB-3000 Revolution series uses an all-new, high-excursion 13-inch SVS woofer. Its fully vented 1100 series aerospace-grade aluminum driver, two-piece toroidal Y30 hard ferrite ceramic magnets use an overhung motor paired with a long-throw styrene butadiene rubber surround, powered by a flat, edge-wound, split-winding voice coil. This voice coil assembly employs rectangular wire instead of traditional round wire, wound on its narrow side, edgewise. It is divided into two physically separated coaxial winding sections on the same 2-inch former and offers a number of interactive advantages. Edge-winding flat wire all but eliminates the air gaps that naturally occur between layers of round wire, effectively packing more conductive materials into the exact same physical space. Its larger surface area maximizes heat dissipation, increasing power handling, while its resultant elevated density improves sensitivity and efficiency. Finally, this edgewise winding creates a mechanically stiffer coil, one less prone to warping or deforming under extreme stress and high excursion conditions. This subwoofer is driven efficiently by SVS's proprietary Sledge plate amplifier platform, delivering 1,200 watts of continuous RMS power and over 4,000 watts of peak power. Paired with a high-current discrete MOSFET output stage, it was developed to combine the cool, high-efficiency advantages of standard Class D technology with the massive current delivery capabilities of discrete high-voltage components. The brains behind all this brawn, its 295 megahertz analog devices DSP system, is the most advanced processing engine ever deployed in a consumer subwoofer. Listen to that last line again and let it sink in. Operating nearly 6 times faster than its predecessor, this chip acts as the brain of the subwoofer, maximizing acoustic output while preventing distortion and protecting the system. With a signal-to-noise ratio greater than 120 decibels, it not only delivers precisely shaped in-room frequency response, it monitors every function of the amplifier, stabilizing AC voltage delivery to the power supply while providing multi-point thermal, voltage, and current monitoring systems, maximizing output and efficiency. Mine arrived in the black ash enclosure, is some 22 inches tall, 18.5 inches wide, about 24 3/4 inches deep with its removable grill, and weighs an impressive 85 pounds. The 13-inch driver is mounted on the upper center face of the front baffle, with 2 round, high-flow flared ports, 19 inches long and 3.5 inches in diameter, centered side by side to each other just beneath the driver. The rear baffle offers access to its complete and robust connectivity and control options. All mounted on its central mounting panel, we find a roughly 1 inch wide by 3/4 inch tall OLED display near its top with navigation, up and down touch controls. The buttons provide direct access to view or adjust each parameter, including volume, low pass frequency, phase, power mode, display inversion, firmware version, and factory reset. Below the display is a USB-A port for firmware updates and to power its optional SVS SoundPath wireless adapter, followed by 2 sets of stereo single-ended RCA jacks, 1 input and 1 output, and a pair of 3.5mm inputs for infrared input integration and 12-volt triggering. Under them are its balanced XLR inputs. The right RCA input jack also serves as a dedicated mono LFE input, which is how I drove both in my application. Its IEC AC cord socket and rocker power switch are at its bottom. The icing on the control cake of these, and in fact, the entire family of SVS subs, is its custom Bluetooth SVS Subwoofer smartphone control app. This app offers convenient tuning and control from the comfort of your listening chair, allowing granular control of volume, low-pass filter, phase, polarity, 6 parametric EQs, room gain compensation, tuning modes, power management settings, and a lot more. And with 3 memory presets, users may save different alignments, system settings, and listening preferences. And to optimize their room tuning even further, just days before leaving to cover high-end Vienna, the long-awaited automated SVS Auto Room EQ system dropped. This fully automated digital room correction tool, using either the microphone in your phone or tablet or their optional $45 SVS Auto EQ mic, allows users to optimize the sub's performance directly through the SVS Subwoofer control app by resolving room acoustic anomalies like muddy or boomy bass without requiring manual tuning. This helps achieve a level of performance accuracy that even the most inexperienced listener will appreciate. Finally, the PB-3000 offers variable port tuning mode options. With its included port plugs, you can customize frequency response curves for both ported and sealed implementation, and they retail for $1,800 each. Once the pair of PB-3000 Revolution subs arrived, these big boys replaced the duty of the much humbler subs in play in my second space system. Yes, I said pair. SVS and I are both proponents of using stereo subwoofers, and for many reasons. The use of stereo subs not only faithfully restores the foundational structure of the music, but it affords smoother room acoustics and modal response, and most significantly to my listening, provides more accurate stereo imaging while expanding and refining sound staging and scaling. I should confess that my appreciation of and dependence upon an extremely accurate recreation of the lowest musical registers stems from my decades of listening to live symphonic music, combined with many more decades of using well-integrated subs in my primary listening systems, not the least of which includes those integrated into my Von Schweikert Audio Ultra 9 Foundation reference loudspeakers. Regardless of the reasons, I am unwilling to sacrifice the elevated performance such foundational support contributions provide. Once in place in my second space system, a synergistic assembly comprised of considerably more affordable components than my reference rig, housed in my home's living room, I started fussing with setup and integration. Using the app is straightforward. It's powerful and super convenient, allowing for setup directly from your listening chair, and I was pretty close to dialed in no time. During my time with them, I played with their native ported performance, as well as using their optional port plugs to seal the box and move to an acoustic suspension model rather than their default bass reflex ported loading. Ultimately, because the room I was using them in is relatively small, roughly 300 square feet, and my primary source was music, not film, I found that to be the preferred option. Yet for theater applications or in larger spaces, their native bass reflex performance may easily win out. The remarkable thing about them, you get that choice. During my time with them, they provided remarkable results with every speaker system I used in that varied space. These included vintage monitors like my 1984 B&W Matrix 1s or my 2004 Von Schweikert Audio VR 1s, and with current production models like the Acora Acoustics MRB1 and the Audio Group Denmark Access L3s. With Traffic's iconic title cut, The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys, this jazz rock masterpiece relies on a hypnotic, deeply resonant bass groove, played with a relaxed, syncopated cut time feel, where the performance feels like it has 2 slow beats per measure instead of 4 fast ones, even though the underlying speed of the music stays exactly the same. The rhythm creates a unique rolling sway. Yet without subs, or with merely adequate ones, the track's foundational warmth is severely compromised. You lose the deep, resonant drive of Rick Gretsch's bass and the low-register, woody resonance of Chris Wood's saxophone, resulting in a thinner, less refined, less immersive experience. Introducing the SVS PB-3000 Revolution subwoofers dramatically elevated the entire presentation. By refining and anchoring the track's lowest register, they completely reestablished the solid foundation beneath the floating keyboards, revealing its speed, razor-sharp pitch definition, and fine textures. Now, instead of just hearing the bass, you more tangibly experience the warmth of Steve Winwood's grand piano soundboard and the signature, dark, gritty texture his Hammond organ so significantly contributes to the atmospheric groove and rhythmic, melodic backbone of the track. They intensify the resounding pulse of Rick Gretsch's Fender jazz bass and the breathy, reed-heavy clicks of Chris Wood's tenor saxophone, transforming a classic track into an intimate live experience. Take a foundational Warhorse recording like the RCA Living Stereo release of Saint-Saëns Symphony No. 3, featuring Charles Munch conducting the Boston Symphony Orchestra. The Poco Adagio and the finale deliver colossal, sustained organ pedal chords that plunge to a subterranean 16 hertz. Without the subwoofers, this masterpiece completely loses its footing. The deepest bass turns muddled, opaque and is musically and emotionally more detached. The exceptional power and finesse introduced by the SVS PB-3000 subwoofers fundamentally shifts the room's physics. The lowest stops of the pipe organ, both the massive 16 and 32-foot pipes, firing at 32 and 16 hertz respectively, do not just play music, they physically compress the air around you, replicating the tactile, pressurized energy of a live cathedral performance. Unlike playing this information without them, this newfound subterranean authority no longer bloats and sullies the mix. Instead, because they also nullify the effects of frequency masking, they magically unlock the rest of the spectrum, injecting pristine clarity, texture, and nuance into the orchestra's upper registers. Adding them transforms the experience of listening to Roger Waters' magnum opus, Amused to Death, from a simply interesting sounding recording into an immersive, three-dimensional acoustic experience, placing sounds far outside the physical boundaries of your speakers, surrounding and engulfing you in the experience. With no subs, or even with merely average ones, this performance is plagued by the resultant phase distortions, which tend to drastically blur the intricate spatial imaging mastered into this recording. But with the SVS subwoofer's abundance of clarity, speed, and definition, they not only clean up the mid-range, making directional cues instantly snap into sharp focus, but the low frequency pressure allows your brain to perceive the front-to-back layers of this remarkable recording. With lesser subs, listening to tracks like Late Home Tonight, Parts 1 and 2, the sound of the engines of the fighter jet flyover moves horizontally between your speakers. But with the SVSs, the physical weight and rumble of the engine create a terrifyingly realistic overhead trajectory, making the jet feel as though it is tearing directly through your room above your head. And that climactic missile detonation that follows not only conveys the massive scale of the explosion, but renders a rolling echo that reverberates as a concussive pressure wave you actually feel roll through your room, from behind the front wall of your room, past your chair, and on out the rear of the space. While a good subwoofer provides loud bass, reproducing otherwise missing bass notes in the music, they also suffer from their slight hangover, where notes linger slightly longer than they should. And while they may play loudly, they also suffer from power compression, a significant increase in harmonic distortion at the highest, most demanding volumes. And at best, they may deliver reasonably strong authoritative bass down into the 20 or 25 hertz region. Worst of all, they typically project localization, announcing rather clearly to the listener where the subwoofer is placed in the room. But a great subwoofer, like these SVS PB-3000s, deliver more instantaneous start and stop performance, eliminating that blur caused by the overhang. They can maintain more perfect linearity from low-level listening to, for instance, say developing 110 dB SPL peaks. Bass remains clean and detailed, even during the most demanding passages like explosions or gunplay in films or orchestral crescendos with music. When they are managed properly with sophisticated DSP and cabinet design to eliminate phase errors, due to that superior speed and phase accuracy, their location becomes invisible. The bass seems to emanate from the main speakers, resulting in a more perfectly blended soundstage. What is most relevant to me, and I hope is to you, is that, in my experience, the SVS BP3000 Revolution subwoofers set a new performance precedent at this price point. I have found them to be uniquely special and extraordinarily effective in their class. Their transient response is exceptionally refined and superbly agile, and their linear extension and control is simply outstanding, performing to considerably higher standards than their similarly priced competition. In fact, they closely encroach upon the exceptional performance levels of much costlier models. Many well-regarded subwoofers like the Funk Audio 24, the Perlison D215S, and even the Wilson Audio Loki, all of which are in the $10,000 price range. Guys, this is no small feat. In the simplest of terms, the SVS PB-3000 Revolution subwoofers shatter previous price-to-performance boundaries, delivering a level of performance that, to my experience, was simply unavailable from this class. As such, they receive my highest recommendation. They are superstars of their range. As always, thank you for taking the time to drop by today. Further information on supporting the channel and my efforts may be found in today's description section or at my companion website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, cheers.